Hello everyone, let's begin our Vinyasa flow practice. Today we're going to start in a seated meditation. Just kind of come up a little bit towards the front of your mat or the front of your space so you have space to lay back in just a moment. But let's begin by finding that meditative seat. So you might cross the legs or take one ankle in front of the other, maybe half or full lotus if it's in your practice. But just find somewhere where you can sit up nice and tall, rolling those shoulders back and down away from the ears. Almost imagine like you're holding a feather between your shoulder blades to really open up through the chest and the collarbones. Let your eyes close down and let your elbows be heavy. Maybe even just slightly leaning back so you really feel rooted into your seat as you pull the navel in and up towards the spine. We're going to be moving quite a bit today, and we'll kind of get fired up pretty quickly. So before we do so, let's just take some time to quiet the mind and really become present in the body. So let's just take this time to close our eyes and be present with our breath without really trying to change or control anything just yet. Just listen and watch. You might notice the breath becoming a little bit deeper the more that you become relaxed in your space. And we'll try to invite that deep breath in throughout our practice, finding those balanced breaths in and out. You can take this time to set a personal intention for your practice. This could be a word or a phrase that you keep in your mind as you go through the practice. Maybe when the practice becomes kind of uncomfortable or uncertain for you, you really invite this intention to kind of drive yourself back home and make sure that you're staying with whatever it is that you want to create with your practice today. Trying not to let the mind get ahead of the body. So let's go ahead and begin our practice. We're going to start on our back, so you can just kind of roll down onto your back, and we'll bring our legs into a tabletop position at 90 degrees. The shins are parallel to the ground and the knees are over the hips. Try not to pull them in more than that. Take your hands behind your head. Let your elbows be wide, so you're just kind of holding up the weight of the head. Just lift the head slightly and really press the lower back into the mat. Feel your core already engaged here. I'm going to do kind of like a 4-part movement. So step 1, we'll extend that right leg out 40 degrees and then bring it back in. And 2, extend that left leg out and bring it back in. And then we'll twist to the left, elbow to knee, and bring it back to center. And then for step 4, twist to the right and bring it back to center. So let's go ahead and repeat. Step 1, extend and bring it in, left leg and bring it in. And then twist to the left, elbow to knee, bring it back to center, and twist to the right. Good job. 2 more times, right leg, and in, left leg, and in, twist to the left, and back to center, and twist to the right, and back to center. 2 more rounds, right leg, and in, left leg, and in, twist to the left, and center, and twist to the right, and center. Last one like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Back to center. You can do this just as we did all over again. Or if you'd like more challenge, extend your legs, maybe at a 30-degree angle, maybe 45 if you're really daring, but keep those lower abdominals, really pressing the lower back into the mat. And now we'll bring that right knee in and extend, that left knee in and extend, and then we'll twist to the right, gotcha, and back to center, and then twist to the left and back to center. So let's do it again. Right knee in and extend, left knee in and extend, twist to the right side and back to center, and twist to the left side and back to center. 2 more rounds. Right knee in, extend, left knee in, extend, twist to the right, extend, twist to the left, and extend. And one more time, step 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good job. Bring those knees into the chest. Give yourself a little gentle rock side to side. Massage out your back. And then we're going to get ready kind of to go right into our Chaturanga, or our low hovering push-up. So get some momentum as you now rock back and forward, kind of revving up our engines here, rocking to the tips of the shoulder blades and then rocking to the tip of the tailbone. Do this a few times to get some little massage for your back. And then when you're ready, we're going to cross those ankles, plant those hands, and pop back into our Chaturanga. And we want to really hold strong here. Squeeze the elbows into the side ribs. Try not to touch the ground with your chest. If you need to, you can rest your knees on the ground. Hold for 5. Squeeze in. 4. Reach the heart forward a little bit. Slide the neck long. 3, 2, and 1. Rest on your belly. Good job. I know that kind of came out of nowhere, right? We'll go ahead and untuck the toes. Glue the tops of the feet to the mat. Maybe the big toes are touching here. We strengthen the front core. Now let's strengthen the back of our core, or our back body muscles. So we'll take our fingertips behind our ears, elbows wide, and we're going to go ahead and inhale, lift the chest up, and then exhale to lower it back down. Now let's twist to the right. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Back through center. Inhale to lift the chest, exhale to lower, and then twist to the left side, lift, and lower. Let's repeat. Inhale through center, keep those feet down, exhale, lower, to the right side, and lower. Back through center to lift, and lower, and then to the left side, and lower. 2 more rounds at your own pace, just working here with your breath, maybe increasing those twists just a little bit. I know that they're kind of tricky. And lower, to the left side, in, lower. 1 more round, your own pace, working that back body, really trying to isolate the upper body here so that those feet are not lifting off the ground. The legs are strong here and active. Into the left and back down. Good job. Let's take those hands underneath the shoulders and press back into a child's pose position. You can have your knees together or your knees as wide as the mat. Just make sure that your big toes are together to touch. And take a few breaths, really sealing your forehead into the mat after that nice warm-up that we just did, really sealing your intention into your mat and really awakening your practice now, noticing how you feel. Good job. Let's rise up into tabletop on all 4s, aligning the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and make sure you're spreading your fingers wide to support your wrists. We'll inhale into our cow back. As we drop the belly, we'll sweep the chest forward, and then exhale for cat as we round the back body, navel to spine, really empty out the air. Inhale into cow, really broad and open through the chest and the collarbones, and then exhale to round the back for cat, really push the ground away. A couple more, inhaling into cow, stretching out that front core, and exhaling into cat, really stretching out the back body. Last one, inhaling into cow, and exhaling into cat back. And then coming into a neutral spine. Be cautious of the lower belly. A lot of times in our neutral spine, it will kind of hang down. We want to really knit the lower belly up in towards the spine. We're going to tuck our toes under and just hover our knees just an inch off the mat here. So it looks like a tabletop, but your knees are off of the mat, starting to find that fiery engagement again. And we're just going to hold here, making sure that those fingers are spreading wide and really pressing the fingertips into the mat, kind of like you were a bear, like clawing the ground. Holding for 5, 4, 3, no dip in the lower back, 2, stay here, but imagine that you're pulling your hands and your feet away from each other, like you're going to rip your mat apart. For 5, 4, I know this static hold here is really intense. 3, 2, stay here. The last thing here is to think about shriveling up your mat. Think about your hands and your feet kind of coming together isometrically. For the last count of 5, you can do it. 4, 3, 2, and 1, downward facing dog. Good job. Lift those knees, lift those hips, finding that upside down V shape. You might have to walk the feet back just a couple of inches. You don't want to open it up too much, but you also don't want to shorten yourself here. So Make sure that you have space to stretch into. A good place to be is like if your hands and your feet were in a plank pose, it's the same distance apart that they need to be in your downward facing dog, give or take. Find your own practice, really listen to your own body as you warm up your downward dog, maybe pedaling out those legs a little bit. Make sure that you're finding your breath because we're going to start to flow with the breath quite a bit here in our sun salutations. Your downward dog, just making sure that your front core is engaged. So you're trying to pull those front ribs in a little bit, but make sure that you're not kind of breaking the line at the shoulders. If you're hypermobile in the shoulders, engaging the core is really going to help to make sure that you don't overstretch the upper body. If you're tight in those shoulders, however, just like me, you can make sure that the pointer finger is facing forwards rather than the middle finger, so it gives you a little bit more space in the shoulders. And you'll also want to make sure that your knees are slightly bent if you're tight. So when you're ready, we'll begin that flow. As you inhale, we'll look to the space between the hands, and as you exhale, we'll step or hop the feet forward to meet the hands. As you inhale, let's lift halfway for a flat back, either fingertips to the ground or hands to shins. Exhale for a deeper fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up to standing any way you'd like, reaching tall. And exhaling, hands to heart center, really honoring that intention, honoring the present moment of your practice. On your inhale, sweep those arms up, maybe take a little back bend. And as you exhale, forward fold down over your legs. Inhale to lift halfway, finding that flat back is important. And then exhale through your Vinyasa. So keep the flat back as you plant the handstand or hop back, coming into that Chaturanga. And then flip over the toes. Inhale, really roll those shoulders open, cobra or upward dog if you keep your legs off the mat. Exhale, tuck under or roll over the toes, push the chest back, lift the hips, coming into your downward facing dog. Notice how you feel. I'm going to start to add on to our sun salutation a little bit. So in your next inhale, let's lift that right leg up for the sky. As you exhale, bend your right knee and open up through your hips, but make sure that you don't compromise in your left shoulder. Like if you're bending your right knee and dipping into your left shoulder, you might have gone a little too far. Keep the shoulders even and just roll out that right ankle in one direction. Strong arms. And roll it out in the other direction, just loosening up. Good job. Inhale that right leg back to center, really square off the hips, and then exhale, tap right knee to right elbow or tricep for more challenge. Inhale, let's lift that right leg, three-legged dog, and then this time exhale, right knee to left elbow. So it's like a core plank with that little crunch twist. Inhale, right leg lifts. Again, exhale, right knee, right elbow or tricep. Inhale to lift it up and back, and then exhale, cross it under that left elbow or tricep. 2 more rounds, inhaling to lift. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, come to the tip of those left toes. Inhale to lift it up. Exhale, cross it under the left arm. Last round, inhale to lift. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale to lift it up. And exhale to cross it over to that left elbow. Good job. We'll inhale it back up. Exhale, we're going to step that right foot between those hands. Make sure it gets all the way between the hands first for your high lunge. Then we'll inhale to reach those arms up. Keep that back leg nice and strong, back toes tucked under, really pressing through the ball of the back foot as you reach those arms up. We'll inhale nice and tall fingers. And as you exhale, we'll open our elbows into cactus. So 90 degrees, really squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the chest. Again, inhale, reaching straight up, palms face each other. And then exhale, open up, palms face forward. 2 more, inhaling to lift. Maybe you're a little out of your lunge here, but then as you exhale, really open those elbows and sink into the lunge. Last one, we'll inhale to rise the arms. And then exhale, open those elbows, really sinking into the lunge, but keep the back knee straight. Good job. Inhale, reach those arms up. You're still in your high lunge. And then exhale, we'll take our prayer, twist to the right. So we're going to hook our left elbow outside of our right knee or thigh. We want to find a really nice straight line from our back toes to the crown of our head. So make sure your hips don't get too saggy here. And make sure that you don't curl your upper spine up, right? I kind of think about bringing my left ear a little closer to my right big toe to really get that nice long diagonal. And from there, just think about using your exhales to take the navel towards the spine and twist a little bit more at the ribs. Last breath. Good job, you guys. I know we've been holding here a while. Inhale, we'll unwind and reach those arms up into our high lunge. And as you exhale, a different kind of twist. We'll take our left hand to the mat and sweep our right hand up for the sky. So a nice lunge twist here, getting ready for our side plank. So stepping back to side plank can be kind of a lot here. If it's in your practice, feel free to just step that right foot back. If you want to work on it a little bit, maybe you work on heel toeing your right foot back a little bit. Or if you just want a little bit more support today, take the right hand down, step the right foot back, and then ultimately lift the right hand up coming into your side plank. We're going to do some strengthening here for the obliques, so we'll take our right hand onto our right hip. If you're sensitive in your left wrist, just lower to your left elbow. If you want some more support, I do here for our hip dips, you can take your right foot out in front of you like a kickstand. So we're going to inhale, lower those hips to a hover, and then exhale, pick them back up nice and high. Inhale to lower, and then exhale for the effort to lift. So we'll take 3 more, inhale to lower, exhale to lift. 2 more, make sure this isn't coming from your shoulder, this is coming a lot from your core muscles. Last one, inhale to lower, exhale to lift, stay here nice and strong. Inhale, reach that right arm up for the sky. And then exhale, we're going to take that vinyasa. So plant the right hand, find that chaturanga, lower push-up. Inhale, take time to open the front body. And then exhale, tuck under or roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Really paying attention here to your breath, paying attention to your posture, making sure that the shoulders feel safe and protected, that the core is engaged. Don't worry if your heels are touching the mat or not. And let's prepare for the other side. So in the inhale, we'll lift that left leg up and back. And as you exhale, bend that left knee. Let's open up the hips here. Make sure that nothing changed in your shoulders. And make sure that that right foot isn't, those toes are still facing forwards. It's not overly pigeon-toed, or that right knee isn't any bit of at an angle. And here we are. We'll just roll out that left ankle in one direction. And roll it out in the other direction, just loosening up. Great work. We'll inhale, extend that left leg straight up and back. Those hips are square now. And then exhale for our mountain climber, tapping left knee to left elbow, shoulders over the wrist or a little bit past the wrist. Inhale to lift that left leg up and back again. And as you exhale, tapping left knee to right elbow. Finding 3 more rounds, nice and slow. Inhale to lift. Exhale, left knee, left elbow or tricep, tips of the right toes. Inhale to lift. Exhale, tap it over to that right elbow. We got 2 more rounds. Inhale to lift. Exhale to that left arm. Inhale to lift. And exhale to that right arm. You can do it. Good job. 1 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to that left arm. Inhale to lift, just following that deep breath. Exhale to the right arm. Good job. Inhale back to center. And as you exhale, we'll step that left foot all the way between the hands. Make sure you get a nice long lunge stance. And then inhale, rise up into your high lunge. So making sure that your hips are square. You're really strong on the ball. That back foot, the back leg is straight. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, let's open our elbows into cactus. Really squeeze the shoulder blades in the back body. We'll do it again. Inhale to reach those arms straight up. Strong legs. Exhale to sink a little lower as you open the elbows. 2 more. Inhaling to reach up. Palms face each other. And then exhaling to open up, palms facing forward. Really offer your heart. Last one. Inhale to lift the arms. And exhale, open and expand. Good. We'll inhale to reach those arms up. And then exhale to take our prayer twist to the left side. So we're going to hook that right elbow outside of the left knee or thigh. And from that hook, kind of press elbow into knee to help you kind of lengthen your spine. It's almost like you're trying to pick up your belly off your spine even though it's still touching. Sorry, pick up your belly off of your thigh even though it's still touching. Thinking about maybe dropping that right ear a little bit towards the left big toe. And really firing up through the back leg. Using another exhale here to take navel towards spine, really twisting out, kind of wringing out the spine any amount more. And then on the next inhale, we'll unwind and reach up, finding that high lunge. And on the exhale, we'll take the right hand down, different kind of lunge. Right hand to the mat, left hand reaches up for the sky. So really open up your wingspan here and try not to get kind of slouchy in the hips. Really keep those legs nice and strong. Good. Preparing for our side plank. Remember, you've got a lot of options here. If it's easy for you, just step that left foot right back. Go for it. Maybe you work on that heel toe to kind of see how it feels to transfer that weight to that right foot. Or maybe both hands are on the mat as you step the left foot back, side plank on the right hand or on the right elbow, with the option here to take that kickstand of the left foot out in front of you for more support. Left hand on the hip, and here we go for our hip dips. We'll inhale to lower the hips to a hover, and then exhale to pick them back up. Inhale to lower to a hover. Exhale, pick them back up. For 3, inhale to lower. Exhale for that effort, lift really strong. 2, exhale to lift, almost like you were trying to ground the bottom of the right foot. Last one, inhale to lower. And exhale to lift those hips high. Hold there, you're strong. Inhale, reach the left arm up for the sky. And then exhale, one exhale takes you down into your Chaturanga. Inhale, offer your heart into the back bend of your choice. And then exhale, pushing back however you'd like into your downward facing dog. Good job. We made it through one sequence on both sides. We've got one more sequence on both sides and then some other surprises before our relaxation. So stay with it. Find that intention. Find your purpose for being here right now. Let's keep that fire kind of building in our body by doing some kind of wave-like motions through our downward facing dog. I love these. These kind of make me really want to invite in summertime. So for our wave in our downward dog, we're going to inhale, kind of start to let that wave roll up from our heels. So we're going to lift our heels coming onto our tippy toes and then kind of find that wave-like motion from the base of your spine, really kind of rounding all the way forward until you get into your plank, shoulders over wrists. And then as you exhale, bend the knees so they hover over the mat, sit the hips towards the heels, and then kind of ride that wave as you surf it up and back into your downward dog. So we'll inhale again, let that wave roll up the back body as you come forward into plank. And then exhale, bending those knees and send the hips back and lifting up into downward dog. Taking a couple more at your own pace, just kind of having fun with it. This is just keeping the whole body nice and warm and finding that connection to your body. After that last one, just meeting back into your downward facing dog. Great job. On your next inhale, take the gaze between the hands. You can exhale to step or gently hop the feet forward to meet the hands. And using your inhale to lift halfway, finding that flat back. Exhale for a deep fold, preparing for our chair pose. So we're going to take those big toes together to touch, but keep the heels an inch or two apart. Sit the hips low, and then inhale, reach those arms up, really squeezing the thighs together, finding that lightning bolt shape in the body. And since we're flowing with the breath a little bit today, we want to keep strong in the legs. Remember, those exhales are for a little bit of extra effort, always really focusing on strong legs on those exhales. But on the inhale, just those arms are up nice and tall as they are. And then exhale for half chair, we'll kind of sweep those fingertips down and reach them back so the torso is parallel to the ground. So we'll do it again. Inhale, reaching straight up. And then exhaling, half chair, sweep those hands back. For 2 more, inhaling to rise, keep the inner thighs squeezing, exhale to lower, reaching back. And last one, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, half chair. Inhale, bringing it up into your chair pose. And using this exhale to take your forward fold. So those hands will come down to the ground or maybe fingertips. Maybe you want to pedal out the legs a little bit. Preparing for our crow. So if you'd like to skip your arm balance today, you can hold opposite elbows, hang heavy in a ragdoll. If you're working on your crow pose, you can plant those hands underneath the shoulders. I like my pointer fingers facing forwards, fingers spreading wide. You do want to plant your hands about 8 inches or so in front of your toes. You don't want them too close, but you don't want them too far either. You want to find that place where you can transfer your weight forward to your fingertips and really make sure that your elbows are stacked over your wrists. If your elbows are behind your wrists, you probably won't be able to take flight. And we want to try to keep the big toes kind of squeezing in. That's going to help us to find our core. Maybe even with the big toes touching in towards one another, you can draw heels to the glutes. Good effort for 3. 2, some of you are going to pop right back into your Chaturanga and make your Vinyasa flow. Others might like to plant those feet, inhale to lift halfway and prepare, and then exhale, plant those hands, step or hop back, move through your Vinyasa at your own pace, meeting in downward facing dog. And taking a nice breath there. Good job. Let's inhale, lift that right leg high for the sky. And this time we'll hold our mountain climber. So exhale, right knee, right elbow or tricep and hold. If you would like more challenge, try those Chaturanga arms, right? Remember, elbows over wrists. If the elbows are behind the wrist, you got to get that weight more forward to the tip of that left big toe even. Maybe you're taking flight. For 5. 4, reach your chest as far forward as you possibly can wherever you are. 3. 2, plant the back foot and inhale. The right leg sweeps up and back. 3-legged dog. Good job. And exhale, we'll step the foot between the hands for our warrior 2. So I like my front foot front and center, back foot spiraled almost open to 90 degrees, and then rising up, reaching that right arm forward, left arm back. Gazing over the right fingertips, we're going to hold here. If you'd like more challenge, you can lift that right heel and then lunge just a little bit more. So you're just on your right toes. You might be a little shaky. Breathing here for 4, 3, 2, and then ground that front foot. And for reverse triangle, extend the front leg for a second and inhale, reach the right arm up. And then exhale, rebend that front leg and take the right elbow to the right knee for side angle. Left arm will reach up and then over your head, finding that extended side angle. So there's a diagonal from your back foot all the way out through your top fingers. If you want a little bit more, wiggle that right elbow or slide that right elbow down to the inner right knee so you can use your elbow to press your knee open. You'll feel it a lot. It's going to bring you into a better posture here in this pose. If you'd like, you can take that bind, maybe with the left arm behind the back, or maybe a full bind if it's in your practice. And maybe you're feeling daring enough here, whether you're in a full bind or using a strap for a full bind, you can work into a birds of paradise by hopping that back foot in 2 times, and then lifting that right foot up off the ground. Ultimately, finding more extension through that right leg and completing the pose by looking over the left shoulder in your birds of paradise. If you're hanging out in side angle, breathe. You got this. We're almost there. And from our side angle, so birds of paradise, just come back to side angle when you're ready. Try to find that control on the way out, just like you did on the way in. And we all take the hands down to the inside of the right foot for lizard. Good job. Curl under those back toes and heel toe the right foot to the right side of your mat so that you're in kind of a wider set lunge. Hands are under shoulders, and you have the option to keep the back knee lifted or drop the back knee if you want a little bit more of a rest, a little more of a maybe a hip flexor stretch. I don't know. It's probably different in every body. So just think about what you need here. Maybe you want to drop to the elbows for a few breaths. But what I always like to think about is reaching my heart forward, because we don't want to round the upper back here. We don't want to compromise there just to stretch the hips. So make sure that you're really reaching the chest forward and elongating through the spine. Taking a couple more breaths into the hips. Good job. When you are ready, we'll go ahead and come into our plank. So tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then just zip the right foot back to meet the left. And in our plank here, we're going to just do a little bit of kind of strengthening. You might feel it in the wrists. Make sure that those fingers are spreading wide and you're pressing a lot of weight through the fingertips, but also, of course, a lot of core. So make sure you don't get a saggy lower back. Really staying strong in the front body. And as you inhale, we're just going to horizontally kind of come forward into the tippy toes. So the shoulders are forward of the wrists. And then exhale, just kind of settling back into your plank, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, coming forward, shoulders kind of move forward over the wrists. And then exhaling, coming into your plank. These are hard. Inhale, coming forward. And exhaling, pushing back. Last one, we're going to go forward and hold. So this is the setup for your Chaturanga. Remember, we always want elbows over wrists when we bend the elbows. So if we didn't come forward first, the elbows might go back. I know this is hard, so go ahead and Chaturanga. And then inhale for your Vinyasa, lifting your heart. And exhale to press those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Great job. Let's go ahead and do the other side. We'll inhale to lift that left leg up and back. And exhale, we're going to hold that mountain climber. So left knee, left elbow, tip of the right big toe. If we want more challenge, we can bend those elbows 90 degrees. Chaturanga arms may be taking flight, so it's really about getting the chest forward, really getting all the weight forward. Try not to let the chest collapse. Reach it forward for 4. You can do it. 3, 2, 1. Back toes plant. Lift that left leg up and back. Inhale. And then exhale, we'll step it through, coming into our warrior 2. So left foot is front and center, back foot spins almost open at 90 degrees angle. We want the outside edge of the back foot really rooted as we rise up. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. If you would like more challenge in this warrior hold, feel free to come onto those front toes and sink a little deeper into your lunge, but listen to your body. Might be different on this side. Gaze over the left fingers, really breathing here, focusing on that intention, right? Just like a warrior, strong, courageous for 4, 3, 2, 1. Ground that front foot, extend the front leg for a moment. Inhale, reverse triangle, lifts that left arm up. And then exhale, rebend that front knee, taking left elbow to left knee for side angle, reaching right bicep by the ear. So find the lines of energy in your body. Notice if there's somewhere that's a little broken off or a little out of alignment, and really send the breath into that place. And then from here, if you want to stay, feel free. Take the gaze under that right bicep and breathe into this powerful posture. If you'd like, you can do that little slide or dip of your left elbow to your inner left knee and press that knee open, bringing you into a fuller variation of this pose, or maybe a half bind, right arm behind the back, full bind if you're working it today. Birds of Paradise, if you'd like, you can hop that back foot in 2 times and then lift onto those left toes, eventually lifting that left leg up. Maybe looking over the right shoulder in your Birds of Paradise. There's a lot going on here, but really it's all about paying attention to what's going on in your body. Try not to let all the options distract you from where you are. And if you're in your birds, just meet us back in your side angle pose. I know. Inhale. And as you exhale, both hands come to the inside of that left foot. Great work for lizard. Tuck the back toes under and toe heel that left foot open to the left side of your mat. You can keep the back knee lifted, but make sure it stays nice and straight, or you can drop it down. So try not to find like an in-between. It's either down or all the way up. And you're either on your hands or maybe one or both elbows. Remember, we're still reaching the chest forward here to find that length in the spine, making sure that the back isn't rounding here. And just taking a couple more breaths into the hips. Pretty powerful hip stretch here in our lizard. Doing such a great job, you guys. When you are ready, we're going to work on finding our plank. So we'll press back up into those hands under shoulders and make sure that that back leg is lifted. And we'll just zip the left foot back to meet the right. Here's our plank pose. So have a little bit of fun here. We're going to be working into our side plank again. So if you know you like to be on the elbows, just dropping down here. And we're going to go ahead and drop our heels to the left side. Let's drop them to the left side and reach the right arm up for the sky. So you're in your side plank. You can stay. You can always use that kickstand we used earlier if you'd like. If you want more challenge, just a little hover. Just hover your right foot just like 4 inches away from your left foot. That's going to be more challenging than if you were to lift it really, really high. And if you'd like, you can come into wild things. That means that you'll bend your right knee and step on the right toes behind you, and then reach that right arm up and over your head, so your belly up here. The fun part is to try to get back into your side plank from Wild Thing with the same control that you got in. So we'll reach that right arm up and try to kind of stack the shoulders and the hips. Maybe that right leg is still hovering. And then we'll all exhale coming into our plank pose. Good job. That was hard. Let's try the other side. We'll drop the heels to the right this time so that we can lift the left arm up. And if you're holding your side plank, by all means, stay here and breathe. You're building so much strength. Sometimes it's harder to be still than to add in a bunch of movement. If you would like, maybe that left foot hovers just about 4 inches away from the right foot. Or maybe bend that left knee, step on those left toes, reach the left arm up and over for your Wild Thing, belly up. If you came into your Wild Thing, just trying to come back with control. It's really kind of fun to play around with the specifics of that one. And when you're ready, we'll inhale, and we'll all exhale to move through that Vinyasa flow. Good job, taking your time, no rush. From your downward dog, if you'd like rest here, you're welcome to take child's pose. If you're feeling a little playful and you want to work on some handstand hops, shorten your down dog just by walking your feet in a little bit. And we want to try to kind of get our shoulders over our wrists. So see if you can find that setup here and now. And then we'll work on some jump switches. So we'll lift our left leg, we'll jump off our right leg and land on our left. And then switch. Make sure that every time you land on one foot, that you're landing on a bent knee. You don't want to land on an extended leg. And the other thing that we want to keep in mind is that we do want to keep our arms like locked out. We want our arms super straight. So although we're landing with springy knees, we want to keep our arms super solid and straight to help kind of promote the right engagement in our handstand. So if you're jump switching, just try a couple more. I know it's fun. Maybe you can get some more air time. And then when you are ready, we'll just go ahead and kind of let ourselves come back into a downward dog. And we'll walk the hands back towards the feet. So just coming into a standing forward fold for a moment at the back of the mat. And then just kind of rolling up slowly to standing. We've been upside down for a little while, so you don't want to get dizzy. Just kind of come up at your own pace. I'm going to do one standing balance pose, and it'll also kind of check off a back bend on our list too. So we get a couple 2 in 1. Can you guess what it is? It is dancer pose. So we're going to work our dancer pose. We'll step our right foot forward and reach our left hand for our left ankle. You can hold the inside or the outside of the ankle. Just make sure that you keep the hips square. Glue the knees together to start, and inhale to reach the right arm up. And as you exhale, reach the right hand forward and really kick the left foot in towards your hand. So it's kind of an equal reach forward with the right hand and kick back into the left hand for 5. Find a steady gaze. 4. Invite your intention here. Really lift the chest. 3. 2. Just trying to come out with control. Good job. 2 feet on the ground. Shake it out. We're going to do the other side. So here we go. We'll step that left foot forward and then reach the right hand for the right ankle on the inside or the outside. Start with the knees glued together and inhale, reach that left arm up. Exhale, reach the left arm forward and kick your foot into your hand. Really equal reach to kick here. Try to grow those right toes towards the sky. Gaze is steady for 5. Breath is even. 4. 3. You can do it. This is a challenging posture. 2. Learn something new about yourself and release with control. Good job. Come on up towards the front of your mat. Take your big toes together to touch. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale to fold forward, closing off that standing practice. We'll inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, just place your fingertips onto the ground underneath your shoulders. And let's come into kind of like a froggy squat. So keep your feet together, but open your knees. You might be like on your toes like me, and your heels kind of kissing towards one another. And you can either take this kind of like a child's pose to get that release in your back by reaching the arms forward. Or you can take this as a little bit more of a balance challenge, a little deeper of a back stretch. If you want to cup your hands around your heels, so your arms are in front of your shins, and kind of pull your forehead towards your toes. So taking a breath into your back body. Good job. And then just taking your time to come into sitting. So use your hands, use support here, come into sitting and bring the bottoms of the feet together, coming into your bound angle. So let the bottoms of the feet kind of open up like you're reading a book on the soles of your feet. Inhale to lift your heart up tall. And then exhale, we'll fold down over our bound angle legs, coming here into a nice hip stretch. You might feel it in your back. I like to let my back round here and just kind of stretch out the fascia in the back. So maybe letting this be a little bit more of kind of a yin style posture. Just kind of winding down here in your practice. If there's any other seated poses you want to replace this one with, feel free. This is your time. And if you'd like to stay here longer, maybe you don't want to take an inversion today, feel free to kind of work any floor work that you'd like, head to knee or forward fold over straight legs. I do want to take this time to let you try any inversion that you'd like. So today I am going to demo a headstand, but I know that can be quite advanced and also maybe not safe if you haven't practiced it before. Maybe you have a wall nearby that you like to use, or maybe you'd like to take a shoulder stand instead, which is kind of like that candlestick. So feeling free to kind of roll back onto the shoulders and use the hands to hold the hips if you prefer. If you do want to try your headstand today, just coming over onto your knees and making sure that when you set up, the top of your head comes to the ground. So not your forehead, but really the top of the head. And also that your elbows are shoulder width apart. A lot of times people will take the elbows really wide, but you want to find that really solid engagement through the forearms. And the only way that you can do that is if your elbows are shoulder width. Because really we don't want to have more than 40% of our weight in our head when we do this. We want to have like 60% in our elbows. So going ahead and if you're working your headstand, just kind of walking those toes in until you can't walk them in anymore. Eventually those feet will just float up using that core strength that we built in our practice. So inversion or floor work pose of your choice, and just taking a few breaths to really be present in your practice. And when you are ready, just slowly coming back down. If you took headstand, just take a couple breaths in child's pose. We want to make sure that we let the body kind of neutralize before we move right on into the next thing. We want to kind of give ourselves that time. So after a couple breaths in child's pose, we'll all meet on our backs. And we'll just finish with a happy baby. So we'll bring those knees into the chest. And if this is enough here, stay here. Especially if you're tight in your hips or your lower back, it's great to just stay knees to chest and work on grounding the lower back. If you'd like, you can open the knees, reach the hands through for the feet, and then kind of open up the feet so that the bottoms of the feet are facing the sky and the knees are bent 90 degrees. So make sure ankle is over knee. And you'll know if happy baby's too much if you can't get your lower back to go towards the ground. I'm not saying it has to touch, but you really want to press the lower back down towards the mat. If it's really challenging for you to do that, or if your chin is way up for the sky and you're pinching the back of your neck, then maybe stick with knees to chest, a little rock side to side wherever you are. And if there's any other pose you want to take before your relaxation, this is the time to do so. We are going to move into our Shavasana, our final resting pose, whenever you're ready. So take your time. We just moved through a pretty fiery practice. So we'll take this time to kind of balance it out here with a peaceful, passive energy, something that we want to kind of invite into the rest of our day. So I'll meet you in your Shavasana for a couple minutes in stillness. Just really letting the weight of your body be held here by the earth. If you notice your mind wandering or drifting away, choose to bring it back to the breath. When you're ready, just slowly beginning to deepen your breath, wiggling those fingers and toes as you start to invite life, movement back into your body. And take a nice full body stretch, reaching the arms over your head. And then bending those knees, walking the feet to the mat, and just rolling over onto one side. And a moment here to pause, coming back to your intention. And gently pressing all the way up into a comfortable sitting position, only bringing with you what you want to bring with you into the rest of your day or your week or your evening. Your inhale will sweep those arms out and up, really collecting the strength and power from this practice. And exhaling, pulling it into our heart. Thanks for practicing with me today. The light in me sees the light in each of you. Namaste.